The opponents of Ahmadiyya raise an allegation against the Prophet Messiah's writings, and they say that Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad claimed to be Mary, mother of Jesus, and then became pregnant, and then gave birth, and then became Jesus. If the writings of the Prophet Messiah are studied, it becomes emphatically clear that this was mentioned in a metaphorical sense and should not be taken literally, as the actual words in Urdu by the Prophet ﷺ are ista'ara ke rang mein, meaning in metaphorical terms. Thus, the first thing we must understand is that he was not saying this was a reality. Do our opponents object to the fact that God has named the Prophet ﷺ Mary? The Holy Qur'an in Surah At-Tahrim categorizes believers into two categories, those like Asiya, the wife of Pharaoh, and those like Hazrat Mary. The Qur'an says, وَضَرَبَ اللَّهُ مَثَلًا لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. Thus, from this verse, it becomes evident and crystal clear that there are two kinds of believers, those with the qualities of Asiya, the wife of Pharaoh, and those with the qualities of Mary, mother of Jesus. With regard to this verse, the Prophet Messiah states, and I quote, "It is this very point which has also been indicated in Surah At-Tahrim, that some people from among this ummah would resemble Mary, the truthful, who lived a life of chastity. Then the soul of Jesus was breathed into her womb, and he was born to her." Now, let's break it down and see what the Promised Messiah was saying. In the extract of Qadian, the Promised Messiah writes, and I quote, "God referred to me as Mary in the third part of Brahine Ahmadiyya." The Prophet Messiah goes on to say, "I was nurtured in the likeness of Mary." What is being stated here, the Prophet Messiah spent his life invested with the qualities possessed by Mary, mother of Jesus, who has indeed been mentioned in the Holy Qur'an as being a person who is very pious, truthful, and one who was granted nearness to Allah. The Prophet Messiah continues to say, and I quote, "Then after 2 years had passed, as it is recorded in the fourth part of Brahine Ahmadiyya on page 496, like Mary, the soul of Jesus was breathed unto me. And in metaphorical terms, I was impregnated," meaning that he was nurtured by Allah for 2 years in these qualities, showing the great and high honor God was bestowing with him. He continues to say, and I quote, "Then, after a period of no more than 10 months, through the revelation recorded towards the end of the fourth part of Brahine Ahmadiyya on page 556, from Mary I was transformed into Jesus, and thus I became the son of Mary." The Prophet Messiah himself clarified this and stated, "The attributes of the person who resembles Mary would be transformed into those of Jesus." In other words, the quality of being Mary's likeness would give birth to one who takes on the form of Jesus. Here, the Prophet ﷺ is explaining that after 2 years, in 1884, he wrote the fourth volume of Brahine Ahmadiyya, and that now Allah referred to him as Jesus. Thus, all that is being referred to here is a spiritual birth which the Prophet Messiah ﷺ has described like a pregnancy, using a metaphor.